and thanks for your interest in our Intro to Faceting distance learning class. I wanted to make this video to talk about all the things that we're going to need in order to have a successful class. So this is my workstation that I'm going to be teaching from, and I wanted to show you guys some of the things that I have in my station that you're going to need to have in your station at home if we're going to be able to communicate together over the internet. So first things first, you're going to need to have some sort of faceting machine. Now I'm using the Sri Lankan style handpiece machine. If you're using a different type of machine, you just need to make sure that you understand all the functions of that machine. I am familiar with mass style machines, but I'm not going to be able to solve every single problem at a distance with your particular machine if you don't know how to operate it. So I will be demonstrating on this machine, but I can show you all the different functions of any machine from this place because they work similarly. Notice I've got my computer right above my faceting station, so I'm going to be able to see what you guys are showing me, and you guys are going to be able to see what I'm doing. I've got a couple different cameras that are going to be spread around my faceting station so that I can show you different stuff from different angles. So we're going to be able to communicate visually this way. So you guys are also going to need to have a computer with a built-in webcam or an external webcam and the ability to record sound so that I can hear you, I can see you, you can see me, you can hear me. This is going to be very important. Now, aside from just the faceting machine and the computer, there's a lot of accessories that we also need for cutting and polishing. So first things first, you're going to need to have some sort of docking station. So for me, I'm using, well, this is what I would prefer you guys to have so that I can show you the way that I want to show you. So you're going to need to have a alcohol lamp for melting your wax. You're going to need to have some kind of wax. I'm recommending the red medium heat wax, but whatever you guys use is okay. You're going to need at least one pair of tweezers for rolling your dock wax. I have several different kinds for bigger and smaller stones, as well as locking tweezers. You're also going to need to have your preferred super glue. For me, I'm using the Uhu Super 7 gram. This is what we have here in Bangkok. I know in America there's different things, so we just need some kind of glue that can dry within 10 or 20 minutes. If you're using a kind of glue that's going to take 1 or 2 hours, it's going to be difficult for us to keep everything moving in the right speed for our 3-hour blocks. So that's dopping. So we've got wax, we've got glue. We're going to be using both. Aside from the dopping station, I've also got this other little tool set here that I have. Importantly, you're going to need to have your 10x loop. Everyone needs that. You're going to need probably some sort of wrench if you need it to tighten and untighten your laps. You're going to need some kind of cleaner for cleaning off your laps. For me, this is a blue isopropyl alcohol as well as kerosene, but usually the alcohol is fine. You're going to need to have acetone in some kind of acetone safe jar. I recommend glass. This is going to be for melting our wax and melting our glue. You're going to need to have a piece of synthetic corundum so that we can embed the diamond powder into our laps when we're setting up the polishing laps. Now let's talk about laps. We're going to need at least, 4 laps. So maybe you're using topper laps like this. This is what we're using in the school. So we've got our master lap with this topper lap, and we've got 360, 600, and 1200. So if you have that, that's great. Maybe you're using something like plated laps. For instance, this is one Taiwanese plated lap I have. This is an 800 grit, so I use this often for doing girdles. Or maybe you're using a centered lap, such as this 1200 centered. So whatever you're using is fine, as long as you've got something that can preform quickly, which is usually around 200, 300, 400 grit. Then you have something that you can cut quickly, such as 600 or 800, and then you need to have a fine cutting option, which is usually 1200. So I recommend 360, 600, 1200 if you can get it. And then finally, we're going to need a polishing lap. Now, the polishing lap is going to be depending on the stone. Usually we're using topaz as our first stone, and I recommend topaz if you can get a piece of topaz. So with topaz, we can just use one lap for polishing, which is hopefully going to be the bat lap if you can have it. or any kind of tin lap, such as this, from Gear Loose. So a bat lap or a tin lap is fine, and I'm recommending 02 diamond powder mixed with olive oil, which I keep in these small jars, or these small little bowls. So you're going to need to have your diamond slurry, which means you need some kind of oil, which could be olive oil, it could be Singer oil, it could be whatever other oils you guys might be using, WD-40 even maybe. Something that you can mix with your diamond powder, and then you're going to need to have the actual diamond powder, and 02 is the one that I'm going to be using for this class. So please get a hold of some 02. If you're used to using 100,000 polish or 60,000 polish, this is not the way that we're going to proceed with this class. It's going to be commercial grade polish, which is 02, also known as 14K in grit size. You're going to need a lighter so that you can light your lamp. You're going to need lights so that you can see what you're doing. Maybe you're using a visor instead of a loop. That works too. Other things that I have in my desk that we don't necessarily need for this class: digital calipers for calibrating. Of course, different sizes of dops, but actually for this class, in terms of the way that I'm going to show you with the technique that we use, we're only going to need flat dops. One for waxing, one for gluing. We don't need cones or V shapes or anything else. We're going to be making a round brilliant, but we're going to just be using a cone, and we're going to be using a flat dop. I'm going to show you how to do the transfer without the transfer block, because this is how we do it here. And I think that's everything that you need. Of course, you're going to need water for your drip tank, and you're going to need the wastewater container for your machine to pour into. But other than that, yeah, and alcohol for the alcohol lamp. I think that's it, other than a piece of material to cut, which I recommend as a 2 to 3 gram size topaz, whether that's white or blue or any color. Alternatively, if you don't have topaz, we could do garnet is a good one, synthetic spinel is a good one, or natural spinel if you have it. I would like our first experience to be as painless as possible, which means I really don't want to work with challenging materials for the first stones. So please don't come to class with a kunzite and say let's do this, because this is not where we want to start. So if you can get topaz, quartz is not going to work with the way that I'm going to show you guys for this class, so please don't come with a piece of amethyst or something. Nice to have this chat, and I will see you guys in class. So if you have all this stuff, then you're free to register, sign up, pay, and you'll get an email telling you how to get into the class on the day of the class. So see you then. Thanks.